Hi there, this is Wendelyn again, updating you on my cancer walk. The last I talked, I just had my biopsy done, and so it's been a week since that's happened, and my doctor had a follow-up phone call with me. So what they discovered with the results of the biopsy is that yes, it is in fact cancer. The name for it is called invasive ductal carcinoma. Invasive means that it's spreading, ductal means that it started in the milk ducts of the breast, and carcinoma means cancer. It is one of the good thing is it's one of the most common kinds of breast cancer. 80% of cases are all this kind of cancer. So they really know what they're doing when they're dealing with it. It has a fairly high survival rate. If the tumor is small, it's like 90 to 98% survival rate after 20 years even. So, however, if it's bigger, especially if it's over 5 centimeters in size, the survival rate is less, 50 to 60% is what they say. And that is, of course, if it hasn't spread to anywhere else. So the other results from my test was that I was estrogen positive, which is definitely that there's hormonal influences in there, and that influences how they treat the cancer. So the doctor told me that the size of my tumor in my right breast was 3 by 2 by 4 centimeters in size, so it was fairly substantial in size. So he recommended, he said probably what will happen is you'll need to have a mastectomy on that side. Left breast was just a little bit fibrocystic. They weren't too worried about that. Of course, taking the second breast is also an option that I would consider and talk about with my surgeon. They had also found a noticeable lymph node that was showing some signs inflamed. So he said what they'll probably do is take a few lymph nodes out and have those biopsied at the same time of the surgery. So yeah, that was that. And he said most likely they'll follow up with the type of chemotherapy, probably tamoxifen, that you can just take in pill form at home. So I thought, well, that at least is better than having to do an IV course of chemo, which terrifies me. So yeah, so then I'm off the phone and I'm, letting people that love me know what is happening. I'm in shock now. It is, in fact, cancer. And so going through all the emotions of that. So what I did was I started to do some research on mastectomies. I started watching YouTube things, started doing some reading about it in order to prep myself for it. My doctor implied that they would get me in pretty quickly to do the surgery. So I had my sister on standby, willing to come and help me the week after the surgery. And to be my support for that. So yeah, I did some research. They suggested having clothing that opens up in the front because you won't be able to lift your arms for at least a week after the surgery. You'll have trouble with that. You will have some little drainage ports in each side of where the lymph node area is. And that will need regular cleaning, and so you need something to either pin the little drainage bags in there, or get what's called a mastectomy shirt. Or have something that has pockets on the inside, or loose pockets on the outside, like pajamas, that you can put the little bags in that collect the fluids that drain from the surgery site for the week after surgery. So after looking at my clothing options, I just decided to finally order a mastectomy shirt. So I ordered that and got it just in a straight black. And it's zippered in the front, and it just looks pretty basic. The only difference, and you won't be able to see it here, of course, is that there are some pockets on the inside of the shirt, and that you can rest and put your stuff in there. So the other thing I did was I looked up what was available for mastectomy bras and your prosthetics. So I looked on Amazon, and sure enough, I found some stuff, and there's lots of different options. I'm probably not going to do implants, but we'll see what happens when I get to that part in my journey. but I didn't want to go leave the house flat-chested, especially when I have a bit of a tummy, and I thought, well, that's just going to make me look more like a pear. So I ordered some prosthetics, and you have to kind of think of what size you want. Each prosthetic might have different, like the bigger, obviously the heavier it is. And so I didn't want anything really heavy, so I ordered a little bit smaller than what I am, and got those in the mail. Like, it's the strangest mail that comes to my door these days, I'm telling you. So yeah, my boobs arrived, and I've just opened them today because I didn't really want to look at them, but I was kind of curious and I thought I'd show you. So that's what they look like. They're fairly realistic. It's just a very soft gel-like thing in the shape of a breast. And, you know, you could use a regular bra, but I wouldn't advise it just in case it would slip out. That would be pretty freaky for anybody else in the room. And I work with children, so that might really traumatize them for quite some time. So, yeah, I would suggest ordering mastectomy bras. They just have a little pocket, second layer, kind of like the filter pockets that we have in our masks today with COVID. And you can slip your prosthesis in there. You don't have to worry about them falling out. So sometimes things like that can take a while to come in the mail. When I ordered the bras, they weren't supposed to get here till like August. And so I'm like, well, I'll just use my bras till then, but they did come sooner. So that was cool. They always tell you the worst case scenario. So I did that. And a couple of other things that are suggested is for the first week, they don't want you lying flat on your back. So they want you in a recliner or with some support underneath, so that to help with the drainage and stuff. They don't want you lying on your side. So that's going to be a challenge because I am asleep on my sides naturally. So you might want to look into getting a wedge pillow or just lots of pillows to help support you. Or maybe safety pins to help pin the tubes and stuff that you're wearing. So I did look at a lot of YouTubes, and the best ones that I found for myself that I really liked and would like to recommend. One was a little story by a lady called Karina Reske. I'm going to put the information in my description for this video, but it's called My Breast Cancer Journey, and she's a Christian, and she had both breasts removed. And, you know, 5 days after her surgery, she was there doing a video about it, and she was talking and moving her arms. I'm like, oh, that doesn't look too bad. And it encouraged me, and it was a very positive, giving God glory testimony. So I'd encourage you to look at that if you can. And then the best informative video I had just on breast cancer in general was done by a lady doctor that works or did it for the Huntsman Cancer Institute. And it's called Breast Cancer Surgery Options. And she just had a very good way of laying out all the information, and would definitely recommend seeing that. So here I am. You know, people always say, oh, if I got cancer, I just cut it out, chop it off. And you know, I polled a few people and said, well, what would you do? Would you do two breasts or only one if you only had cancer in one? And so gathering opinions on that. But it is different when it is actually your body and you're facing that. It's pretty daunting. And I've had a few tears with it and shared tears with my sister. And my sister's going to come and help me the week after for support and any, you know, self-care. The tubes need to be, cleaned and drained and emptied and whatnot. So, and apparently it's even hard to like open a fridge door. So yeah, I'm going to need a little bit of help for that part of this journey. But it's great that I have friends and family, you know, that are going to be coming to help with food, with cleaning, whatever. If people offer help, take it. That's what I definitely have to say. I did things like updated my will and got my, you know, to-do list going for things that, you know, prioritize what I really want done in the next little while, because some of the time I might not feel very good, but other times I will be able to work on projects. So I'm going to do my scrapbooking. That's a big one that's ongoing, but that's pretty important for my girls. So yeah, so the next step for me will be, I'm still waiting on more results. My HERB2 results were inconclusive, so I'm still waiting to hear back about that. And the progesterone result I didn't get either, but it is definitely estrogen positive. And now I'm waiting to see the surgeon about the next part, and that will be my appointment for that is June 22nd. So it really, that's only been 3 weeks. Well, 3 weeks, 2 days from when I found the lump. So it's pretty amazing how quickly things are going. And I do credit God for that and thank Him for that. And it's hard not knowing the answers, hard not knowing what's ahead. But you can rest that in the fact that God is going to be with you through it. And you can just keep praying for mercies. And that's what I do. It's like, please, just hope it's not, chemo through the IV and all the trials that would be. But and ultimately, of course, physical healing. So I have met somebody that is also going through breast cancer here in the town that I live. They're not a believer, but I heard about them in a newspaper article, so I've reached out to her, and I'm thinking, this might be a bit of a ministry. I'm going to meet a lot of hurting people going through the same kind of stuff, and I'm not going to be strong enough to support everybody all the time, but when I am, I'm going to look for opportunities to just be there for other people who may not have the support and the faith that we do. And so I just encourage you to do that too in your walk when you can. And when you can't, that's okay too. Just lean on the Lord and you'll get through this. All right, I got to keep this short. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon after my surgeon visit. Bye-bye.